Good morning and welcome to Ray's Crafty Creations. This morning I'm going to be looking at how to use my alcohol markers when I'm colouring an image. As you can see, this image has been coloured by alcohol markers. I prefer to use Pro markers, although I do use Illustrators and I've got some Copics, and they all mix and match perfectly well. Now the image that we're going to be working on today is this one here. Now it's been photocopied or stamped onto Neenah Solar White, which is a super smooth cardstock and has very little chalk in it, because the thicker cardstocks often don't work so well, as they will act like a blotting paper to your ink, which is not what we're looking at today. We're not looking at wanting that to happen really. So these are the colours I'm going to be using: blush, coral, oatmeal, coral, and then a pastel pink for my cheek shades. Now I start off with my lightest colour. There are many schools of thought on this. You can start with your darkest, but I feel that it's easier to take out light, to add in a little bit of dark rather than take it out. It's much more difficult to take out the colour than when you've got it added in. As you can see at the moment, I'm just literally going to be quickly laying some colour down, because I need to be able to get some base colour so that I can start to move my inks around when I start to blend. Now I'm literally just going around the edges, because this just saves me a little bit of time and worry about being not quite so neat necessarily when I first start off. So I'm literally just going over the edges so that I'm not going to end up going out of my lines quite so much, although it's not a major issue if I do. Okay. So, because I need to lay down quite a lot of colour quite quickly, I'm going to use the broad nib on this, and as you can see I'm going in circles. I tend to use circles when I'm working on skin tones, mainly because I want the colours to blend more seamlessly. I'm not looking at a directional finish, which is what you looking for on fur and hair, which when I use a flip, which I shall show you a little bit later on when I'm doing the next video. So I'm going to split the colouring of this image into three, so that we'll do skin tones, then I'll do the hair, and then we'll do the flowers, so you can see how I work and build my technique up. This is my middle colour, which is coral, or oatmeal rather, sorry, getting names muddled up this morning. And I'm going to put where I think there would naturally be some shadow. So I know that where the hairline is, there's going to be a little bit of darkness. I know that. So I'm in like the middle of the ear, it's going to be slightly darker. Under the ear here, down the back of the neck, behind the hair and the flowers. Here, because it's going to be in the shade of the chin, around that leaf a little bit. Now I know that I'm going to shape up my chin, because I want to put some shape into it as well, but I also need to make sure that I've got a little bit of colour coming underneath. Now I know that I'm going to have some colour here and here to create shadow, and around the nose, because I just need to create that little bit of shadow there. Now I'm going to go in with my darkest colour, which is coral. And while you're looking at this, you're going to think, oh my goodness, this is very orange. It's not going to work. How is she going to blend those three colours together? Well, this is the beauty of alcohol markers. They do the work for you. All you have to do is just keep going back in and over everything you've already done, and just take your time. And one of the great things about alcohol markers is that it doesn't have to be, if I want to leave it at this point because I've got somebody knocking at the door, I want to make a cup of tea, I can do. It's not going to ruin it, because I can go back in later and start blending again. So I'm going to go back to my mid colour, which was oatmeal, and I'm going to go over everything that I've just put down, all that dark colour I've just put down. I'm going to go back over it. Okay, and I'm going, as you can see, I'm working in small circles, going round and round. Okay, a little bit of colour in there. One of the things I do know about alcohol markers is it's not a good thing to be working on a polished surface. You always need to have something underneath the alcohol marker, because it will very gently and very quickly, without you even realising it, soak through the paper and take out the polish quite quickly on your table for you, which is not necessarily what you're looking for. And you can see that it's starting to blend. Right. Now I'm going to put some cheek colour in, and when I'm dropping my cheek colour in, I tend to dot it rather than actually put a big splodge on, and I dot it into a triangle shape because this tends to look more natural. I'm going to put a little bit on the bridge of her nose so she looks like she's got a little bit of sunburn, and then I'm just going to go around the edge of what I've just done because I don't want to take all that colour off. I don't want it all to disappear. I want to keep it. I just want it to not look like it's got a harsh edge. Okay. Now I'm going to look to see where, if I've lost some of my shading anywhere, and I can see that I've lost a little bit of it here on the eye, a little tiny bit there on the nose, a bit here under the ear has sort of disappeared. Okay, and I'm just going to put that in gently, and I'm going to put a little bit here just to help that move a bit more, so it just feels like it's a little bit more natural. And do a bit there. Go back again with my palette just to remove a little bit more over where I've just put my darker colours again, just because it will help me to blend a bit more successfully. And now, as you can see, that's all starting to mix in quite nicely. I'm not getting any sort of definite marks anywhere. I've missed a little bit of the nose just there. There you go, let's put that in. Now, when I'm doing the lips on this, I will go back in with my darkest skin tone that I've used to do the lips, because it just seems to work quite nicely to sort of give that little bit of a touch to it. Now I'm going to leave this to dry, but I want you to look at the other side so you can see how much the ink soaks through, so you can see how it's moving and how it's starting to blend. Okay, so I'm going to put this to one side now, and then I'll come back in a few minutes and show you how to do the hair. I hope that's been helpful.